For more on how Mexico's economy is rising, we spoke with Erin Farnsworth, Vice President of the Council of the Americas and Americas Society. He explains how this shift could impact global trade.
The rise of wages in China is making Mexico a lot more competitive vis-a-vis China, and that's beginning to erode some of the natural advantages that China has naturally had over the past generation in terms of production.
Is it something that China should be nervous about?
Well, I think they should be concerned because there are some natural disadvantages that China has with relation to the United States and the Western Hemisphere. In other words, geography. And geography, as some have said, is destiny, which means that it takes a long time to get products from China to the United States, whereas from a neighboring country like Mexico, it takes a lot less time. And in a global economy where time to market and global supply chains are absolutely critical, those sorts of natural advantages in terms of geography matter. And so if your cost of production in addition to that is going up, that even makes you less competitive vis-a-vis some of your natural competitors.
90 days to ship something from China over to here. In 90 days, that computer could be obsolete, the clothing could change. But the flip side of that is you've got China, which now that market is exploding as well. You've got a lot of consumers over there. So that's a plus side too, isn't it?
Well, there's no question about it. China will always be China. Second largest economy in the world. Massive consumer market that's growing by the day, literally. So, as I say, I don't think China should be afraid of Mexico. Certainly, they're always going to be competitive. But I think the answer is not to compete necessarily in terms of low wages or the lowest cost of production possible, because there's always going to be some lower cost producer globally, but rather to begin to compete in terms of value added, quality of goods, and really meeting the needs of consumers today.
Now, China's system, though, is designed to really accelerate growth.
Right.
The loans funneled into businesses. Mexico has a disadvantage there. Do you see things shifting in that regard? Because that's really what's fueled a lot of China's advancements, wouldn't you say?
It has fueled a lot of it, and the model is different between Mexico and China, just the way it is between China and many of the other countries of the Western Hemisphere of Latin America. There's no doubt about that. But I would anticipate some positive changes coming with Mexico. Certainly you have a new government coming into office December 1st, which has made economic development and the acceleration of growth a real priority, at least in terms of what it wants its proposals and its agenda to be. But also the opportunity to advance global trade relations through things like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which Mexico is now a party to. It involves the United States and Canada, some Asian countries, etc. And Mexico has really made it an effort to increase its global economic connections through trade agreements and through investments abroad. So I think that, again, the story here is one of Mexico rising. It's not going to overtake China anytime soon, but it certainly is building on its natural advantages. And I think that's a good thing, both for Mexico and, frankly, it's good for China as well.
Let me throw one quote at you, and I want to get your thoughts on this. This is one guy who was looking at Mexico as an option. He says the bureaucracy is just numbing to get anything done. Mexico needs to address its underlying issues of corruption, infrastructure, and bureaucracy to make things go smoothly. Would you agree? Is that one of the sticking points?
I think it's an area of an opportunity. There's no question about it. And for investors, again, I don't mean to paint the picture that Mexico is a perfect investment location. It's not. There are some real issues here, just like there are in China, just like there are in the United States, to be frank about it. But the good news is that the incoming government does appear to be aware of some of these issues and has made meaningful comments that they want to begin to address them. The question will be implementation. Can you actually move from good intentions to implementation? And if they do, then I think you'll see a real takeoff in terms of Mexico's economy.